Namaskar. My name is Ria Dhar. I'm 15 years old and I'm a junior at Matia Valley High School in Aurora, Illinois. Now let me tell you a little bit about what I've learned so far about Dharmic religions versus Abrahamic religions and Kashmir Shaivism versus Vedanta. Welcome to Earth. On this planet, there are a multitude of various religions. Some of these religions fall into two categories. Dharmic religions, which consists of Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, and Hinduism, and Abrahamic religions, which consists of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. Dharmic religions are typically less rigid in customs in comparison to Abrahamic religions, which strictly follow certain religious texts such as the Bible, Quran, or Torah. However, despite the more relaxed nature of Dharmic religions, they also follow certain holy texts such as the Vedas, the Sutras, Agamas, and the Guru Granth Sahib. Abrahamic religions believe that there is one supreme God, Abraham, who sends Messiahs or his sons to earth in order to bring back people on the right track to show them by showing them the correct path of belief, while Dharmic religions also believe that there is a supreme God called Brahman, who represents ultimate reality. They encompass the idea that God exists in all people, and in different forms. Moreover, followers of Abrahamic religions strictly believe in God as a father figure and often confine the rights of women, whereas followers of Dharmic religion often worship a feminine supreme such as Saraswati Mata, Durga Mata, Kali Mata, Shakti Mata, and so on. Despite the many gods in Dharmic religions, followers of Dharmic religions often worship concepts such as wealth, knowledge, war, and death that are only personified through gods. Additionally, followers of Dharmic religions look up to gurus or pundits and go to temples, who rarely had political power, whereas in Abrahamic religions, followers are led by supreme institutions and their leaders, such as the Pope of the Church, Imam of the Mosque, and Rabbi of the Temple, who had religious and political power in the past. Furthermore, Dharmic traditions are more based on following one's dharma, or duty that one must fulfill through his or her own path, and implementing self-inquiry, through which one pays constant attention to his or her inner awareness. On the other hand, Abrahamic religions focus more on the idea of morality, or that one must conduct righteous acts rather than sin. God acts as one's moral compass and then determines whether that individual is going to heaven or hell. Contrary to this idea of external judgment by God, in Dharmic religions, followers believe the concept of karma, an idea that deeds committed by an individual in his or her life will affect him or her in his or her next life, causing the individual to remain in the cycle of reincarnation, a process through which the soul of an individual moves on to a new body and takes birth again. However, once the individual sheds his or her karmic weight and is rid of all material desires, he or she can attain moksha in Hinduism, nirvana in Buddhism, or liberation. Due to the theory of reincarnation, followers of Dharmic religions have developed the concept that time and history repeats itself due to the rebirth of the same souls. This theory of time then led followers of Dharmic religions to believe that Brahman, or the ultimate reality, has facilitated evolution, which was mirrored through the Vishnu Dashavtara, namely Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, and eventually Pursha, which mirrors what science believes happened through evolution. On the other hand, in Abrahamic scriptures, it states that Abraham has created man, directly contrasting the theory of evolution, which states that man has evolved from animals and natural selection. Additionally, Abrahamic religions often feel the need to convert others to their religion due to their holy scriptures, by which they feel compelled to liberate others from hell by making them a true devotee of God or converting them. On the other hand, in no Dharmic scripture does it state the need to convert others. Rather, the Dharmic religions focus more on self-awareness and self-correction. Also, Dharmic religions believe in multiple philosophical paths to self-realization and God, compared to Abrahamic religions who believe in only one soul path. Vedanta is a sect of Hinduism, which is based on the Vedas, and was used to explain the dichotomy between the knower and the known, the cosmic self and this self. Following a different path, few sages began to investigate their inner nature by experimenting on themselves by using yogic practices aimed to the psyche. This yogic practice became known as tantras. This new sect of religion became known as Shaivism, and one large sect of this is Kashmir Shaivism. Vedic traditions and knowledge was mainly gained through revelation. On the other hand, tantric knowledge was gained through experimentation and kriya, or activity. Vedanta and Kashmir Shaivism both agree on the cycle of rebirth and eventual liberation from the cycle, dharma and a being's dharmic necessities, the idea that knowledge and yoga is the path to liberation or moksha, and the idea that chit, consciousness, is supreme reality, despite their different names for it. Vedanta refers to supreme reality as Paramatma or Brahman, and Kashmir Shaivism refers to supreme reality as Paramashiva. Shiva in Vedanta represents the god of destruction and fertility, while in Kashmir Shaivism, Shiva represents ultimate reality, as stated before. In Vedanta, Brahman is believed to only be knowledge, not activity or kriya, which they believe only resides in jiva or empirical subjects. However, Shivites argue that Paramashiva resides in all beings, and that the state of Paramashiva utilizes both knowledge and kriya or activity to grasp supreme reality. In this figure, Vedanta assumes that at the state of Brahman, one is so knowledgeable that he or she is able to realize that the reflection of the moon is not the moon itself, but only a reflection. Contrastingly, Kashmir Shaivism depicts that the state of Paramashiva needs active grasping, utilizing both knowledge and activity on the part of the knower or human figure to differentiate the reflection of the moon from the moon itself. Additionally, Vedanta argues that the world that ordinary beings perceive is through Maya or illusion, and that once beings reach a state of consciousness through Brahman, he or she can see through that Maya and see the real world or supreme reality. For example, if the light in a room is off, one can perceive a rope on the floor to be a snake. However, when he or she turns the light on, he or she realizes that what was once thought to be a snake is only a rope. Similarly, Vedanta believes that turning on the light or achieving supreme consciousness allows beings to see through the Maya or fake world and into supreme reality. On the other hand, Kashmir Shaivism argues that Maya itself is a creation of Paramashiva and is a form of reality, because if an entity can manifest itself in one's mind, it must be real, and if an entity that appears vividly and composes the entire universe, it must be substantial. Moreover, Kashmir Shaivism believes that one should accept that Maya is a creation of Paramashiva and must be worked through to reach liberation, rather than completely deny it. In Vedanta, followers believe in a 25 tattva model, which provides a description of 25 states of consciousness to eventually reach supreme consciousness with Brahman. In Kashmir Shaivism, followers believe in a 36 tattva model, which has 23 of the same tattvas as Vedanta's 25 tattva model, 2 modified tattvas, and 11 additional tattvas. There are 4 major categories of the 36 tattva model: 5 pure or shuddh elements, 5 layers of limitations, 13 instrumental tattvas, and 10 objective elements. Kashmir Shaivism argues that individuals should use the 36 tattva model as only a guideline for contemplative meditation. They have developed the Trika system, by which there are only 3 tattvas: Nara, extreme duality; Shakti, between ultimate unity and duality; and Shiva, absolute unity. In Kashmir Shaivism, Shiva Shakti is an inseparable force in which Shiva represents consciousness and Shakti represents awareness. Shakti is a force which allows Nara to reach Shiva. Karma Yoga is one of the yogic paths to moksha among Vedanta followers and Shivites. Both believe that Karma Yoga is a path to achieve supreme consciousness, and that the actions taken by a karma yogi are deemed as selfless and divine due to the way that the yogi is detached from the results of his action, and the way he believes himself to only be a tool of the divine power. However, Vedanta argues that karma yogis must discipline themselves and restrict their day-to-day lives by ridding themselves of all worldly desires. On the other hand, Shivites argue that karma yogis can continue participating in worldly desires and live without restrictions, because they believe that once the yogi practices Trika Yoga and attains self-bliss, he or she will be automatically rid of all worldly desires. This indifference to material desires is called Anadara Vikirti. In order to practice Kashmir Shaivism, one must utilize 4 methods: Anuvapaya, the method of the body; Shaktopaya, the method of the mind; Sambhavopaya, the method of consciousness; and Anupaya, the methodless method, in which, typically used by normal humans, the individual uses any strategies beneficial for him or herself to further him or herself in the path to supreme consciousness. In order to fulfill Anuvapaya, the individual must take control of his or her heart and reduce its pulse by breathing. The final stage of this method is in which the individual renounces consumption of food and water, which purifies the body. To achieve Shaktopaya, one must continuously remain aware of the Param Shiva within themselves. This also purifies the body and allows for a connection to Supreme Reality. To achieve Sambhavopaya, one must rid themselves of all thoughts, simultaneously ridding of all material desires. Additionally, Kashmir Shaivism is to be practiced in seclusion, in privacy. Although Shaivism is open to all people from all parts of the world, typically Hindus from Kashmir, Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Kerala practice Shaivism. So as a recap, Abrahamic religions include Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which follow one path to heaven and the idea of morality. Dharmic religions include Hinduism, Sikhism, Jainism, and Buddhism, which follow the idea of dharma, karma, and that the divine being is supreme reality. Advaita Vedanta believes in Paramatma or Brahman, who is consciousness but no Kriya. Vedanta followers also follow the 25 Tattva model. Kashmir Shaivism believes in Paramashiva, who has consciousness, awareness, and Kriya. Followers of Kashmir Shaivism also follow the 36 Tattva model or Trika system. In the process of creating this video, not only was I able to better my video editing skills, but I was also able to learn about what Shaivism is and how it is more about attaining supreme consciousness rather than idol worship. I also learned that gods that we pray to in pujas are only a representation of concepts that guide us through life. Finally, I learned what Advaita Vedanta is and how its beliefs are different than Shaivism.